All right, wrapping it up here. Culotta and the Prince, the vlog today, Thursday's edition. Talk to Andy Cannizzaro, LSU hitting coach, recruiting coordinator, baseball assistant on the road up in Louisville, Kentucky recruiting. Always enjoy our conversations with Coach Cannizzaro. Today we asked him about the method of recruiting baseball. We always hear recruiting to the depth chart from Frank Wilson and Ed Ogeron and Les Miles. For baseball prospects, a little bit different. You're 35 on a roster, and the uncertainty of not knowing if you're going to be able to land these guys. We talked to Coach this morning. It's got to be a maddening process.
It's got to be just a completely frustrating process. And one of the things that we talk about with Andy's knowledge and experience on the pro side of it is having a good understanding and feel on, kind of rooting through and find out who are the guys that are going to go to college and which guys are going to go to the professional ranks. When you think about that, can you imagine spending 2 years recruiting somebody, you get them signed, everything's good to go, and then you still got to wait until after the draft on whether or not they're going to show up? That's frustrating.
No doubt. Andy Cannizzaro staying with us every Thursday throughout the offseason. Hour two, we had a lot of sound from Benny Simmons, Antonio Blakeney, and Brandon Sampson. We also got some reaction from Johnny Jones, who made it official yesterday. John Treelor, who he had hired back in April, expected to start on July 1st. Coach Jones told the story how he got a call on Tuesday morning from Coach Treelor, who told him that he was going to stay in the NBA. Can't knock a man for making a decision, but the timing here for LSU basketball really puts their back up against the wall in trying to find an assistant coach. With what John Treelor had on his plate as far as his duties, what we're going to call for, I don't know if you can go out and find somebody like that right now on the schedule.
There's nobody like that. It's one of the reasons why we celebrated the hire. Because of his unique ability to come in as a guy who's been in personnel on the NBA side, a guy who's been a successful college assistant, a guy who understands the needs and wants of a developing player and can come in and be an asset on the practice floor, an asset sitting next chair to Johnny during the games. He was about as well-rounded an assistant as you can find, and that's why we were so excited about it. It also explains why NBA teams would want to keep him in the NBA because of the way that he's been able to, just find and develop talent and be a guy that has been successful everywhere he's been.
Tough spot for Johnny Jones and his staff here.
We didn't talk about it on the show, but I want to talk about it now because right over your shoulder they just flashed something up there about how LaMarcus Aldridge has scratched the Lakers off his list. What's it say about not just what's it say about New York and Los Angeles, but what does it say about Carmelo Anthony and Kobe Bryant right now that they can't find guys that want to go play with them?
I just think they're irrelevant. I think both of the teams that they play for are kind of trending in the wrong direction, and those guys have a lot to do with that with their contracts, the way that they're eating up the salary cap. Two scorers, two kind of ball stoppers offensively. The ball usually shuts itself down and sets when it touches those two guys' hand. LaMarcus Aldridge is entering the second prime of his career, the back half of the prime of his career.
But still not on a downside yet.
No. Still trending.
Relevant.
Right, absolutely. Got to stay healthy, but as confusing as it is for the market to miss out on these players, New York and L.A., you would think that those would be destination spots. It doesn't confuse me as much as people wanting to stay away from those two guys just by their game. I mean, look, Marcus Aldridge has to touch the basketball. He's an offensive player who's really gifted. Why do you want to go play with Carmelo or Kobe? Ball usually stops there.
And so it used to be everybody said, oh, you got to get to a big market. It's the only way to make your money. Yeah, well.
Who's your boy? Middleton in Milwaukee. How much he make?
5 years, $70 million. He plays for the Milwaukee $70 million bucks.
You know his first name?
Chris. With a K.
Share a Coke. He's out today.
He's out.
All right.
Christopher with a C.
Cade, we are working on Friday, correct? We're working on Friday. Shake that phone.
We will celebrate independence by coming to work.
We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.